Okay, here's your Unit 2 review. You need to solve without a calculator. Use your number line. Okay, so -5 plus 2, so we start at -5. Then I have a plus, and it's +2, so I'm going 2 forward. -5 forward 2, -4, -3. 1 minus 8. So I start at 1. If I have a minus, I'm going to change it to plus and then make a wall, then the number after it's negative. So I go 1 backwards 8. I'd start at +1, go backwards 8. That would be -7. -6 plus -2. I would start at -6, and I got a plus. That's good. It's of a negative, though, so it goes backwards. So -7, -8. -2 minus 5, okay? So we start at -2, and then I have a minus. I'm not a fan of the minus, okay? So I make it plus, and then the 5 after it's going to become a negative, okay? So I start at -2, and I go backwards 5, okay? Because you're adding a negative. So -3, -4, -5, -6, -7. 7 plus -5. So you start at 7, +7. You're adding, so that's good, but you'd have to go backwards. So 7 backwards 5 takes us to 2. 3 minus 7. Again, I hate minuses, so plus, negative. So I know I'm starting at 3, and then I go backwards 7. So that would be -4. Okay, -4 plus -3. So I start at -4, okay? I'm adding a negative, so I'm going backwards 3. -5, -6, -7. -5 minus 2. You start at -5, okay? Then you're minusing 2, so it'd be plus, and then the 2 after goes negative. So you start at -5, you go backwards 2, so -6, -7. Okay, now you can start using a calculator, okay? 5x minus xy. X equals -4, y equals 3. So I need to parenthesize the x and the y separately and put those numbers in. So 5 parentheses minus parentheses parentheses. So x is -4. -4 and 3. Okay, you need to do your dots and fix any minuses. So there's a 5 outside there. There, now let's read it. 5 times -4 minus -4 times 3. I said minus here, so it's a plus. And afterwards we have a -4, so the opposite of -4 is +4. Okay? Okay, so you multiply first. So positive times a negative is a negative. 5 times 4 is 20 plus. It's going to be positive. 4 times 3 is 12. So -20 plus 12 is -8. Okay. (3x plus xy). X equals -5. Y equals 2. Okay. So 3 parentheses plus parentheses parentheses. So x is -5. X is -5, and y is 2. Okay. Okay, so parent times dot here, times dot here. Okay, do I have any minuses? 3 times -5 plus -5 times 2. I don't have any minuses. Okay, so now I multiply. 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. Again, I'm going right to multiplication because normally it's PMDA. Well, the parentheses only have one number inside. And now I go to the multiplication. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. And there's not going to be any division. And then adding negative 15 times negative 10 is negative 25. Okay, in our next problem it says simplify. You're going to have variables, but you're not given any replacements. You have negative 7x minus 4 plus 5x plus 6. So we're not given any replacements, but we still got to deal with the dots and the minus. Well, there's no dots because there's not going to be any parentheses. Minus, I'm going to read it. You tell me if you got a minus. Negative 7x minus 4 plus 5x plus 6. Negative 7x minus 4 plus 5x plus 6. I said minus here, so plus, and then the 4 becomes a negative. Remember, it's negative 4. Okay, so there's no parentheses, there's no dots, there's no division, there's only adding. So, I write x down. Now I'm looking for the numbers multiplied by x. You got 5x and negative 7x. So I add those. So, negative 7 plus 5 is negative 2. Then numbers without the x, okay, negative 4 and 6. So I go negative 4 plus 6, that's 2. That's all the further you can go. You end up with one number with an x, one number without. That's about as simplified as it can get. Okay, next one, negative 2, parentheses 5x minus 7. And all these, in these 4 problems, this one and the next 3, you did it right if you end up with a number with an x and a number without. You can't just make up stuff, but that's when you know when you can stop. A number with an x plus a number without. Okay, dots. Well, I got a parentheses with the negative 2 outside. Minus. So I have negative 2, and then in the parentheses I have 5x minus 7. Okay, so I have minus here, so plus negative. Now, PMDA. Okay. Parentheses, you have one, but there's an x in it, so you can't find out what comes out of it. Okay. Multiplication. Well, yeah, there's a dot, but it's to the whole parentheses. So I circle the plus, and then I distribute negative 2 to 5x, and then negative 2 to negative 7. So I'm going to show my work here. Times 5x times negative 7. So this is negative 10x, and this is 14. Okay? So I line that plus sign up, and I just put negative 10x, 14. The plus is still there. Okay, dividing, there's no division, okay? Oh, one thing I forgot. After you multiply, you want to cross out the parentheses and the number multiplied by it. And there's nothing else there, nothing else I have to drop, okay? There's no division, and there is addition, but we can't do it because we have an x and a non-x. You can't add an x and a non-x. You can multiply them all day, but you can't add or subtract. Okay, next problem, negative 5, parentheses 2x minus 1 plus 5x. Okay. So dots, okay, right there. That's the only place we'd have one. Minus, so we have negative 5, and then in the parentheses you got 2x minus 1. I said minus, okay, so plus negative. That's a negative 1 now, okay. And then plus a 5x. So now I go into my steps of simplifying. So parentheses, you have it, but there's an x inside. Multiplication, yep. So the negative 5 to the whole parentheses. So here's the plus, okay? Negative 5 to 2x, negative 5 to negative 1. Remember, I made the 1 a negative. Not to the 5x. It's only multiply it by things that are in the parentheses. Okay? So I've got negative 5 times the two things added in the parentheses. The first thing is 2x. The second thing is negative 1. So negative 5 times 2x is negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative 1 is 5. So that plus is still there. There's just not a parentheses. On one side of the plus you have negative 10x. On the other side of the plus you have 5. Then the parentheses and the number outside are history. But you have to drop your plus 5x. That doesn't go away. It's a hangout. Okay, division, no division. Now adding. Well, I see x on 2 of these numbers, so I get to add those. Okay, negative 10 plus 5. It's negative 5. Plus the constant 5. And I can't do any more. Okay. Okay, problem solving, story problems. Elevation changes from negative 300 feet to negative 100 feet. Find the change in elevation. So we're finding the change in feet. Okay, change is just a subtraction operation, but you got to put it in right. It's your end minus your beginning. You're like flipping them. You're going backwards. So it ended up at negative 100. Started at negative 300. You can either punch negative 100 minus negative 300 into a calculator, or you can say, okay, I got minus the number after its opposite, so that's really negative 100 plus 300. Well, that's 200. So the change was 200, because if I go from negative 300 to negative 100 on a number line, I'm going to the right. So that's why it's a change, that's a positive, and it's 200 units. Okay, 16, over a time of 4 weeks, I earned $460. What's my dollars per week rate? So dollars per week, okay. Okay, dollars per week means a division, okay. It's the dollars divided by the weeks. 460 divided by 4, I believe it's 115. Yep, $115 per week. Okay, number 17. An eagle starts flying at 42 feet. It flies upward 144 feet, downward 126 feet, upward 25 feet, downward 65 feet. How many feet is the eagle currently flying? So feet equals, okay. All right, so he starts at 42. Then he goes up 144, because it's all about feet. He starts at 42 feet, then we adjust that. Up 144, down means minus 126, up plus 25, down 65. Okay. So 42 plus 144 minus 126 plus 25 minus 65, 20. Okay. So 20 feet. Okay, number 18. I have $150 in my wallet. The money goes down in value by $5 per day. How much will I have in my wallet after 25 days? So you got dollars, but we start with 150, but then it's dependent upon the days, dollars and days. So I'm going to write an equation for this one. Box, box, box. Okay. So X, Y, okay? Now, days and dollars are what I have. Now, the unit that measures time is the days. It has to be the X, and then the Y is that. So per dollars per day. The rate of dollars per day is $5, 5 times X, and that would be a negative, okay? Now, since I know the dollars per day, I label the X and Y on the table. X is days, Y is dollars. So the days, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so the dollars start at 150. Then they go down by 5. So we're adding negative 5. Plus negative 5 is 145. Plus negative 5 is 140, and so forth. Okay? Now, make your ladder. You got 150 at the beginning. plus goes down by 5, so negative 5x equals y. Okay, negative 5 times x, my bad. Make sure you put that dot there. So in the equation we have 150 plus negative 5 times x equals y. Now we're going to solve the problem. Okay, I take those 25 days and put it in the days column. That means x equals 5. So I parenthesize my x. And now I solve the problem. The dots and minuses I don't care about. Okay, I just keep writing equals y. A couple different, as many times as you want till you end up with one number over there. Okay, times comes first. Okay, so I take negative 5 times 5. That's going to be negative 125. Negative 25, I'm sorry. Okay. Or I'm sorry, I screwed this up. X equals 25, not 5, 25. Okay, so x is 25. Okay. So I should be put a 25 in for x. So it's negative 5 times 25. So negative 5 times 25 is negative 125. I apologize for that. So I take 150 plus negative 125. Okay, I got 25. Now I'd like you to place that in the money column. It means after 25 days you're down to $25. So $25 is the answer.